Welcome to the Sunday morning worship service of DuPage Unitarian Universalist Church. My name is Kat Gelder, my pronouns are she, her, and I'm a member of the Board of Trustees. Unitarian Universalism is a faith tradition committed to creating a just and flourishing world for all people. Our Universalist theology tells us that every person is worthy of love. Thus, when we say, whoever you are, wherever you are on life's journey, you are welcome here. And this is our message of love to you, inviting your whole self into this space to help us co-create a world centered on our values. We invite you to learn more about us and consider joining this community to enact our values of equity, justice, transformation, pluralism, interdependence, and generosity. And now, if you are online, I invite you to greet each other through the chat. And if you are present here, I invite you to turn to someone you did not come with and greet them with a wave and a good morning greeting.
The chalice lighting today is adapted from Exploring Who We Are by Melanie Davis. Today, we light this chalice in the spirit of play. That is, the play of ideas and poetry. The chalice flame encourages us to explore who we are, who our neighbors are, and where we are on our spiritual journeys. Let us trust the light to guide us in this hour and in the days to come, finding joy along the way.
Good morning. Hope you all had a very good 4th of July. I'm Don. This is Tom. We're going to continue the celebration today. There's no fireworks. There's not even a picnic. But I understand that there's some special welcoming elixir downstairs after the presentation. Our celebration is a conversation between two poets, one with a longer Western style, the other with a shorter Eastern style called haiku. Poetry considers meanings and perspectives. We're here to have a poetic celebration of something. More on something later.
Please join me in reciting our mission statement. We gather as an inclusive community to grow in character, mind, and spirit, and to transform the world towards fairness, love, and compassion. Our vision of beloved community is rooted in the relationships we have with each other, our world, and creation. Each week we share our joys and concerns. The flowers today are from DUC's Accessibility and Inclusion Ministry Team in celebration of Disability Pride Month and the 35th anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act. We have a joy and a concern from Sebastian Aragon. Joy to those that are able to uplift and support disabled voices, and sorrow for those who cannot afford the support they need. We've done good, but we're not done yet. Our hearts are with all who are affected by the terrible flooding in Texas as they face the overwhelming loss of homes, livelihoods, and lives. And as we continue to confront rising authoritarianism and assault on our civil rights, it is vitally important and incredibly powerful to remember that we have each other. Even when the cares of the world weigh on us, may we find joy and solace in our connections with each other and in the pleasure that life holds. Let us care for one another and for ourselves in all the ways that we can. And as we hold each other in our hearts and minds, with all our joys and all of our sorrows, whether spoken or unspoken, please let us join together in a moment of meditative silence.
Our poetic conversation begins with a meditative prayer. Our format for this and the later part of the presentation is that I read a longer poem in the Western style. Tom follows with a shorter poem in the Eastern style, or haiku, which he's going to read twice. You'll be able to see the difference in the styles of the two poetry and focus on the meanings and perspectives. We'd like you to focus on those meanings and perspectives. Prayer of a common man. God, I'm just a common man. I try to do what's right. Every day I labor and dream of a better life. My dreams are not as eloquent as the dreams that Martin dreamed, but my dreams are still important, if only just to me. I dreamed I lived in a different world, far better than today's, where people believe in freedom and let me live my way. I want to walk in my own shoes and choose which way I go, unfettered by the choices of those who walk before. I'd like to get an equal shot with those far better healed. They shouldn't spoil our futures with all their special deals. I want to see a better world, truly safe for us to say, we don't believe in violence. There is no room for hate. I'd like to live in a courageous state where people walk their talk, not hang their heads in silence and look the other way. I want to build a nicer place, diverse in every way, finding beauty in the difference and peace, yes, right away. I'd like to live in a state of grace, blessed in every way, respecting all the customs of those with different faiths. I want to work a useful job, productive every day, secure in a well-earned future that gives me ample pay. I want to know my health is safe if I grow old or ill, so my family won't be bankrupt by some horrendous bills. I'd like to see integrity practiced every day, unfiltered by the message of some commercial sage. I'm tired of the lying and that unholy spin. There's simply no excuse for that horrible BS. I'd like to see democracy inside our business seats, not sacrifice our freedoms to earn a bite to eat. I believe in the rule of law to protect our sacred rights, not torturing our neighbors to promote the nation's might. I want to see compassion, not hear its virtues praised. I'd like to see some vision for hope beyond today. But most of all, I'd like to pray for love to come our way. For love is the only answer that's left for us today.
Johnny Appleseed, Pockets Full of Utopia. Johnny Appleseed, Pockets Full of Utopia.
Now, if you please rise in body or spirit and sing with us hymn under 131, Love Will Guide Us.
If you
it is time to gather. Our book today is Sky Color by Peter H. Reynolds. Marisol was an artist. She loved to draw and paint, and she even had her very own art gallery. Not all her art hung in a gallery. Much of it she shared with the world. She painted posters to share ideas she believed in. At school, Marisol was famous for her creative clothes, her box of art supplies, and her belief that everyone was an artist. Yes, Marisol was an artist through and through. So when her teacher told the class they were going to paint a mural in the library, Marisol couldn't wait to begin. The classroom buzzed with the sound of brainstorming. Students talked and sketched. Together they made a great big drawing. Then they marched to the library. I'll paint a fish. I'll paint one too. I'll paint the ocean. Marisol shouted, I'll paint the sky. Marisol rummaged through the box of paint, but could not find any blue. How am I going to make the sky without blue paint? The bell rang. It was time to put their brushes down for the day. As she climbed aboard the bus, Marisol kept wondering. All the way home, she stared out the window. The sun lowered closer to the horizon. Later at home, Marisol watched day turn into night. And that night, Marisol settled into a deep dream. She drifted through a sky swirling with colors. The colors mixed, making too many to count. In the morning, Marisol stood waiting for the bus in the rain. The sky was not blue. She smiled. At school, Marisol raced to the library. She grabbed a dish and began adding colors. This one, that one. She swirled the brush to make an altogether new color. Marisol then began painting on the wall. A boy asked, "What color is that?" "That," Marisol said, "that is sky color." And now let us sing to our children. Picasso offers that the meaning of life is to find your gift. The purpose of life is to give it away. The giving of our treasure is how we reciprocate the many gifts we are given by this community. Even in an uncertain world, we have so much to be grateful for: life itself, our planet, love, and each other. Giving is also how we live our values. Each month, we share our offering with an organization that gives life to these values and makes a difference in the world. Our July special offering is for UU Prison Ministries of Illinois. UUPMI fosters connections between UU congregations and those that are incarcerated in Illinois prisons in one of the hardest times of their lives. They provide in-prison worship services, covenant groups, pen pal groups, and other programs, and advocate for policy changes that seek to improve the quality of life for those incarcerated both during and after their time in prison. As we pass our offering plate, know that it is a vessel that connects us to each other through our gratitude and generosity. So give freely of your thankfulness and abundance, that our values can forever take hold in our world.
The subject of our poetic conversation is something. Something is much more complicated than we often think. Is it country, our values, the divine, or something else? This conversation is based upon a long poem I wrote 25 or 30 years ago called In Defense of Something. Tom and I are going to examine its 7 parts. First, we're going to cover its wonder, its essence, its sense, and its power. Yes, it has power. Then we're going to cover its manifestations, mystery, and meaning. After each part that I read, Tom will comment by reading a related haiku. Your task is to decide what something means to you and whether or not you want to defend it. I must confess before we begin that I wanted to turn water into wine. But I'm getting a little old and I was afraid I'd spill, that my glass would runneth over, and then I'd be left with an empty glass. Nobody wants an empty glass. As I thought about my problem more deeply, I realized that the glass is just a container. It's the contents that matter. Kind of like all the people in this sanctuary. That's what matters. The contents of the glass might be water, it might be wine, it could be welcoming elixir, remember downstairs, or perhaps even snake oil. Something is in all of these things. And how full or empty is our glass? That's about something too, Something is bigger than the sanctuary, bigger than the glass. It's a vast middle ground that exists somewhere between the dualistic extremes of everything and nothing. But something isn't dualistic. Perhaps it's monistic, or maybe it's a singularity. Is it also a pluralism? In defense of something, the wonder of something. Consider the wonder of something. Just think about it. Swirl it around in your glass like finely aged wine. Sense its color and bouquet. Appreciate its myths and legends. Indulge yourself. Fathom the unknown. Sip its subtle meanings. Savor its taste. Now raise your glass. Toast something. And looking through the glass, like Alice, contemplate what lies beyond. Inside the rabbit hole, a poem, perhaps a Jabberwocky. Or, like that heretic Galileo, through his lens peer forth, dare to see a new world or something.
A May moment, sundown across the park in a glass of wine. A May moment, sundown across the park in a glass of wine.
The essence of something. In the beginning, beyond memory, begat of the past, rooted in love and sexuality, there was something. A bang, perhaps a whimper, or the thought of a being. Something is a mystery, a great unknown, and maybe infinitely unknowable. Something is unnamed, and being unnamed remains anonymously something, undefined, undifferentiated, amorphous. Something may be anything, or it may really be no thing at all. Something is our answer to uncertainty, our substitute for clarity, our mental placeholder, and our surrogate of the inexplicable. Something is real, I think. Something is out there, somewhere, sometimes alive but hiding, perhaps in Plato's cave. Something has an essence and a nature, features and attributes, time and place, function and being. We know something exists, for we can perceive it, even without knowing everything there is to know about it. Of course, something to me may be nothing to you.
As though the sun would know daylight savings time? As though the sun would know daylight savings time.
A sense of something. Before knowledge, before understanding, before language, before the fog of civilization, we were sentient, weren't we? Our sense may have been incomplete, our minds unpersuaded by the facts, but our sense was real, wasn't it? We felt it, and in feeling it, believed it? When were we? When was it? When once and thereafter, in the space of a thought, we became that painfully lonely me. Uncertain I am, I think. Certainly, I think I am. I know I am. That little engine who could or should or might or wants to be? No. Who can be or can choose not to be something.
Riddle me this. In this June wind, withering leaves? Riddle me this. In this June wind, withering leaves?
The power of something. Greet the ambiguous antecedent of all things. Chameleon of weasel words, source of wonder, sense and essence, general of the universe, flexible father of the real and, yes, the unreal. Recognize the power of something. See it in fears, see it in hopes, see it in dreams, but see it as real, see it becoming. Salute something, the general perhaps, say aye aye to the Madagascan lemur, or in exchange for vision, vindictively make the world blind. Doubly sure, twice affirm the power of authority, sir. Or, like many others before us, selfishly say, me, or me too, or just blame someone else. But how do we know when to salute? In fear of the hell of awful reprisals, must we swear fealty to an all-powerful Lord or to some self-proclaimed vassal who, holding a gun to our heads, commands us to dance his dance or to dream his dreams and knows when we don't? Mindless, must we abandon our own thoughts? Powerless, must we surrender our free will?
Cloud shadows, war drums making louder demands. Cloud shadows, war drums making louder demands.
Rise in spirit of our body, and we're going to sing hymn 123, Spirit of Life. Spirit of life,
manifestations of something. What does something look like? And how exactly do we know something when we see it? Is something a cloud, a dark, dreary object that rains painful tears of despair, with flashing eyes and a deep, thunderous voice, like Father, angry? Yet something may change its form, becoming a mysterious cloud or a fog, dense and overwhelming, like death, obstructing our vision and confounding our senses. Or, in a better mood, something may be floating feathers, or those puffy pillows punctuating an azure sky. Maybe something is a light bulb, the pure energy of inspiration that miraculously enlightens a blind world and forever frees us from the fear of the dark unknown. Is it a force creatively captured by the mind of man, applied in our everyday world through science and technology? Is it that same something that, with the flick of a switch or the press of a button, can become a mushroom cloud, bringing an end to everything and the beginning of something? Something may be a flower with blushing lips, a rose perhaps, the epitome of pure beauty, like mother smiling naturally. Or maybe it's a butterfly, happily floating on a gentle west wind in the always youthful Garden of Paradise. Is something a box? Is it a pretty Christmas package filled with goodies, but only for good little boys and girls? Is this gift brought to them by a jolly fat man in a red suit, hired by commercial interests to promote their sales? Or is something ajar, Pandora's legacy to humanity? When opened, does this jar release misery and pestilence while leaving hope behind?
Lid ajar on Schrödinger's box, a faint scent of roses. Lid ajar on Schrödinger's box, a faint scent of roses.
More on manifestations. Perhaps something is an egg. Is it Hegel's child, the zygote of yin and yang? When afraid, does this egg both precede and follow its mother? At Easter, does this egg mysteriously transform into a rabbit? Is it a strange white rabbit, lately escaping that stalking Alice? Could something be a bubble? Does it trickle down in liquid waste? Or does it percolate up like coffee, always too hot to handle? Or maybe something is just a bubble in an old lava lamp. I think something must be a sphere. Perhaps it's a unified ball of strings, always rolling forward, pendulum-like. Perceptively perfect, shiny but multicolored, multi-layered, constantly changing, vibrating in fact. Is it always there, somewhere, nowhere, and everywhere? Could something look like you? Maybe not as arrogant or egotistical, not as bitchy or whiny, but compassionate and loving. Maybe it's even sympathetic and forgiving. But perhaps something doesn't manifest physically at all. Maybe it's intangible or invisible, like love or hate, like selfishness and greed, or like ambition, unseen yet ever present.
Black as night, make of it as one will, coyote calls. Black as night, make of it as one will, coyote calls.
The mystery of something. What matters more, how something appears or what something does? Look around you. Isn't something there? Don't you see all the marvels of nature? Or taking them for granted, do you see nothing at all? If everything was created or evolved or whatever, what a wonder it is. And look inside yourself. Don't you see something there? If something is inside you, isn't it also inside someone else? So knowing this, what shall we do? Shall we create a hopeful world where categorically we treat others as we would like to be treated? Or shall we create a fearful dictatorial world of anger, violence, distrust, and despair? Do we really want a world where, faithful to some dogma, those dying to die become undyingly dead, enraptured by some futile war of us versus them? In our lifetime, what is our image of our world? Will we walk our talk? Don't our deeds matter? Will we find our paradise now? Or will we discover the meaning of life only in death? To be or not to be something, is that the question? Or is the real question to live and let live, and how to forgive? What will our attitude be? Who are we on our journey of life with our ticket of mortality? At the end, we all seek peace and we all rest. But as we live, we still dream of something beyond today and hope for something more.
Cro-Magnon Cave. A boy measures his own hand. Cro-Magnon Cave. A boy measures his own hand.
The meaning of something. Something spoke to me and told me something different than what you heard, or what you said she told you. Perhaps I misunderstood, or perhaps you were mistaken. Maybe, though, with the glory and the majesty of wisdom, perhaps the words were just different. Some were for me, others were for you. Weren't the words different to fit our needs and our prayers? Anyway, shouldn't we just celebrate something together, each in our own ways, respectfully, respecting something?
Sky lanterns, my inner dragon making wishes. Sky lanterns, my inner dragon making wishes.
Now would you rise, please, in body and spirit, and sing hymn number 318, We Would Be One.
A parting wish. Discover now your destiny in travels near or far. But do recall the memories of times together here. Inside a code of comfort walk, but listen to your heart. That compass guides lives inside us all to point us on our way. Pursue your dreams with dignity and always make us proud. Enjoy the beauty life reveals and live the magic found. So boldly go with liberty, but walk in paths of peace. Create with care your legacy. You travel with our hearts. Join me in the chalice extinguishing words. We extinguish the light of this chalice, but not the light in our hearts. Until we meet again, may the warmth of our community carry you. Tom, wait a minute. Post salute.